All right. Welcome. We'll wait a few minutes. Dr. Reese should be joining us this week. So I'm waiting for him. And I'm just going to give a few minutes to allow people to come in. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and get started. We're talking about everything detox. As you know, or if you don't know, we have the fall equinox upon us as we wind down summer. So just to rehash and recap, the fall equinox is a time of harvest, but it is also a time of reflection, and it is a time of if Edwin can help you.
He can cook.
Hey, Vic, Edwin's gonna have to help you. I'm doing a live stream. Okay. So yeah.
Evelyn? He said he was gonna help.
Edwin.
Erwin?
Yeah. Oh, Erwin. I thought you said.
Yeah. Excuse me. So So as I was saying, got distracted. So we're waiting for Dr. Reese. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is our weekly broadcast, and we really focusing in on everything detoxification. We've got the fall equinox upon us. So I'm really just kind of buying time before I really get into it. But really, let's just rehash last 2 weeks. Last week it was just me. I was talking about basically some of the science, breaking down, the fall versus the winter, and this time is really a potent, powerful time to consider detoxing. Probably as important as the winter solstice. It's a time where the solar energy is moving away from us. If we live in the northern hemisphere, if you live in the southern hemisphere, the solar energy is moving towards you. So everything flips. But for all intents and purposes, I'm gonna focus on the northern hemisphere as the sun is moving away from us. So basically, again, it's a time where the energy, at least from a solar perspective, is on a decline, and we're moving to the equal portion of where now we go from sun into fall. And so that shifts everything. That shifts our psychology, that shifts our spirituality, and that shifts our vitality and our physicality. So really it's a time not only to reflect, but then it's also it's a great time to at least give your body at least a 3, 4, 5, maybe up to 7 day break from food. Really I've been, one of the things that I've really thought about as of late is that, detoxification is almost like the body is trying to catch up with the assimilation. So most of us eat every day, multiple times a day. And when detox happens, or a healing crisis, or it creates some uncomfortability, basically that's the body's attempt to catch up with the assimilation. So what that means basically we're assimilating too much too fast. And when we're assimilating too much too fast, the body will naturally go into a detox mode. But what ends up happening during these periods is that it goes into it regardless. So all the more reason, all the more important that we need to, consider doing a detox during this period, really to prepare you for the big one. The big one is the winter solstice. This one I put right behind it, if not right next to it, because I just know, like from years of doing this, years of following this rhythm myself. As I said last week, my body, I could feel the changes happen in my body. I can feel, there's times where I felt, I'm very physical, I'm very active with the business, I'm very active with my exercise. And so during this time, really, my body lets me know that it's time to take a break. How does it let me know that? It lets me know by, the stiffness I feel in my back and my shoulder and my joints. So then what ends up happening is that I stop eating and the stiffness sort of eases. I get more flexible. I get more agile. Any type of pain or stiffness, or, some of you may feel congestion, so we talked about that last week. When this video is over, when this video is over, I will put the last 2 videos in the show notes. So, check that out. We're still waiting on the doctor. Okay, so let me take some, let me see what's going on. Let me see who's here. Tiffany Peace, my man Nick, Go Vegan. Yes, the good doctor is coming in today. Hetep, to my man Julius, always a faithful viewer. So yes, thank y'all for tuning in. And if y'all have any questions, I'll take some questions now. I want to wait for the doctor to come in and didn't want to hold you up. We said 12:30, so let me go ahead and send him a message if anyone has any questions. In the meantime, feel free to post your questions. Now, if you're watching on Facebook, I will not see your question in the comments. You have to come over here to YouTube and post your question, and I will display it on the screen. So if you're on Facebook, come on over to YouTube. My YouTube is youtube.com/Khepra. My as you see over here in the bottom corner of your screen, Khepra, youtube.com/Khepra, and you should be able to see the live stream. Yes, peace, my brother Bongo. Yeah, so again, thank y'all for tuning in. We're waiting for Dr. Reese to come in. And so I'm just here to sort of bide the time and wait, as we wait. Yeah. All right. All right, so we got our first question. Let me send Reese. Let me let him know that I'm on. All right, breakfast, lunch, and evening juice suggestions. Oh, this is a great question. Great question. Well, for breakfast, if you're going to intake anything, really for breakfast, or I should say before noon, unless you wake up really, really early, like before 7 or 8. If you wake up before 7 or 8, I would suggest not eating or drinking anything. And then I would say wait for that thirst to happen. And then when that thirst does happen, now you shouldn't be thirsty when you wake up. You shouldn't be thirsty. If your body's hydrated from the day before, you should not be thirsty when you wake up. So that's the first thing, because really the day starts the day before. But nonetheless, ideally speaking, we want to sort of continue to the breath fast in throughout the morning until we intake any fluid for the morning. So let's say you wake up at 7 o'clock. I would say no sooner than 11, 12 that you have your first juice. Like I haven't had anything up until now. So I have a coconut right here. So I'm planning to sip on as we continue. And that would be the first thing. If you have access to fresh coconuts, that would be the very first thing that I take in. Hopefully we'll be able to get into the Noni juice. We're going to be talking about Noni juice today, hopefully with Dr. Reese. And one of the things I know that he does is that he'll take a shot of Noni and then chase it down with the coconut water. So a shot of Noni, 1 ounce, 2 ounces of Noni. I personally like to put my Noni juice in my coconut water. I really appreciate the taste of Noni, me personally. It could be an acquired taste for most people. But I really appreciate, I love the Noni juice. It has a certain spiciness to it. And so that leads us into the afternoon. And I would say how much juice? I would say about at least 16 ounces, maybe up to 32 ounces. And then after that, you want to do your fruit juices next. So after your 32 ounces of coconut water, 32 ounces of fruit juice. So right now, you want to pick the juices that are in season. So right now, watermelon, pretty much watermelon. You got your other melons. You got your all your honeydew, cantaloupe, Crenshaw. That would be the ideal. And then in the evening, do a more heavier juices. You can have a nut milk or coconut milk or seed milk if nuts are a problem, and then your greens. So your green juices, you can use cucumber as a base, you can use celery as a base, you can use coconut water as a base. All of these things could be a base, or even a fruit blended with or juiced with greens. Like, for example, pineapple is great. So celery, cucumber, along with your dark greens. Your dark greens don't give you a whole lot of juice. So they need something like cucumber, celery. If you're into carrots and beets and things, do that. I know a lot of people don't use those for reasons I won't get into. So basically, but if you see the pattern, basically it's like you're going from one level, meaning like level zero, as I like to call it, is the breath. We're all breathing right now. We're all getting a level of nutrition, and without that, we would die. Okay, we can only go maybe a few minutes without breathing before we check out permanently. And then beyond that is our water. So I always recommend coconut water. If you don't have access to coconut water, your melons are great. As we move into fall, I know in the U.S. here on the East Coast is fall winter is citrus. So a lot of citrus come into season in Florida. So watermelons go out of season, citrus comes into season. Again, a great, to get that, in our quote unquote flu season, that vitamin C. I mean, just imagine that being your lunch every day. So you're not having a breakfast. If you want to drink water, like plain water, or as I call it, pipe water, I would only recommend doing distilled water. You can do a carbon filtered reverse osmosis water. That's kind of on the same level as distilled, but what I say is to give it some energy. That water is dead. It's not necessarily harmful, but it's not really helpful in the sense that you're not getting hydrated on the level that coconut water is going to hydrate you on a level. Okay. So, but really the science is to start at level 0, and level 1 is the water, the coconut water. Level 2, I should say, is the fruit juices. Level 3 is the green juices or vegetable juices. And then level 4 being like the milks. So, at all of those levels, you sort of want to kind of stair step your way up to going from lightest to heaviest. And then if you're doing a juice cleanse, you could do it that way, and either finish the day with the heaviest juice, or if you want to go back to, like, after you have your evening milk or evening green juice, you can finish the day with a fruit juice, after you've digested the milk and or green juice. So that's what I would suggest. Great question. Let's see if we have some other questions here. Oh, we got a lot of questions here. All right, so the question is, I'm going to get on live while I'm waiting for Dr. Reese on Instagram. I know folks may be wanting to, hold on here. Your phone's in. Okay. So the question is, how do you feel about one saying drinking fruit juice is too much sugar when consumed without the fiber and ultimately not good? Okay. Yeah, this is a good question. So with the fruit sugar, I mean, people say that about fruit, period. Fruit gets usually in the nutrition world, unless one is really conscious of us really truly being fruitarians. If you're not really hip and aware that we are fruitarian apes, the human being is the higher ape. And if we look at the apes in nature, they typically eat about, I would say, 50, maybe upwards to 80% fruit, depending on the ape, I guess. And what's the other things that they eat? They obviously eat a lot of green leaves. They eat nuts and seeds as well. So, fruits, greens, nuts and seeds, but largely fruits. Some apes do eat other stuff we won't get into. The question is fruit sugar in terms of especially making it a processed food. Now, there's one suggestion, if anyone is really concerned about, like, let's say, for example, a pineapple. You juice a pineapple, you remove the juice from the fiber. Therefore, it's like you're creating a processed food. You're doing the same with almost any fruit, melons, citrus, apples, any high moisture fruit or food. where you're creating sort of an imbalance. Well, one of the things you could do is you could add coconut water to it. You could add the coconut water to it. Again, coconut water is a whole food as a water. So therefore, you're basically reducing the concentration. I especially like doing this with citrus. Citrus I can find to be kind of intense as a 100% juice. Um, Pineapple to a certain extent, I find to be somewhat intense as well. So adding coconut water is one suggestion. Another suggestion would be to add something to offset the sugar. So that could be lemon, that could be lime, or that could be noni. The noni juice is a something that is not sweet. I wouldn't say bitter is the taste of noni, but I will say that it can sort of rebalance those fruit sugars. Now, let's just talk about the fruit sugars in fruit. Are the fruit sugars in fruit harmful? Because that's really the question. And so given that we are fruitarians, even though we're taking those fruit sugars and sort of misplacing them away from the fiber as a nature designed it to be, what we're trying to do. All this time I thought I was on live. Okay. All this time, yeah, all this time I thought I was live on Instagram. I'm now live. So when we're rebalancing, or we're removing the juice from the fiber by bringing in noni, bringing in coconut water, bringing in lemon, lime, etc. Right? But then, um, losing my thought here. Um, Fruit sugars in and of itself being dangerous. All right, so we got the doctor in the house. Um,
All right, man. How you doing?
all right, all right.
All right.
Yeah. So how you doing first and foremost?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing great, man. I'm just here on top of the world, and here I am connecting to my people on IG as well. So
Okay.
we're bringing in my crew on IG. So I'm live
Okay.
on IG now as well with
Okay.
you, and
Okay.
it's great to be able to share this moment together with you, so that we can keep our people updated on where we are and where we're heading. So looking forward to sharing with the entire community, all of the grand highlights that the universe have aligned for us in
Mm-hmm.
this next coming season. The autumn is upon us soon.
Right. 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 Yeah, I was just sharing with the family. We had a question here talking about people being concerned about. I guess yeah, we're just gonna jump right in. As soon as I see you on live, I will join you. I will
Yeah, well, I
join.
am on. I am on. I need to be able to bring you in. Let me see. You send me
Oh,
a
you on
request or
you on
anything
live?
on IG.
Oh, you are. Okay, I think I have to get out of. I think I have to end my live. I was on live here.
Okay.
Okay. Yep, I see you.
All right. All right. Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it's a wonderful day where I am here in Panama, nice and bright and sunny. Okay, here we are. Let's bring you in here, Chef Khepra, coming in to join us here on IG while I'm joining you right here on where are we on YouTube here?
Yeah, well, YouTube and Facebook.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic.
All right, okay, you gotta turn off one
Okay,
of
so
the.
we're getting a feedback. Is that
Yeah, you gotta turn off the speaker on one, or let me see.
okay?
You gotta maybe turn off your mic.
I have to turn off my mic where on IG on YouTube.
Maybe on your computer or one of them.
Okay, I just turned the one off on the computer, and that's it. So if I turn my mic off on IG, you won't be able to hear me. Or I'll
Okay.
need to put in headphones somewhere.
Yeah, the headphones.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna need a minute to engineer my headphone setup. So you can continue
Yeah.
right here. Okay. Okay, I lowered the volume on my IG, but I still hear the feedback.
Okay.
Okay, well, it
Yeah.
seems like it's gone. I raised the volume back up and the feedback is gone. Seemed like it was on your end somewhere.
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah,
Maybe
so the
so.
feedback is gone. We're fine.
Okay. 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 Great. Great. Okay. Perfect.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic.
All right.
All right.
So,
No,
what we talking?
we're getting it.
Oh,
Yeah, we're getting it still. Let me get the microphones, the headphones.
okay. All right. So while we're waiting, I was addressing the question. Oh, he's back.
Okay, so I'm back here.
Okay.
Yeah, I still didn't get my headphones, but it seems like it's gone. I don't know where that feedback keeps coming from. Okay,
Yeah.
but we're fine. But it comes in now. Maybe I'm not ready for
Hold
all
on.
this high tech right at this moment. So, is there one that I can exit from? Can I exit from the YouTube?
Well, I think we're okay.
Okay, well that's fine now. Now we're okay. I don't know where it comes
Okay.
back in.
I had to turn down my volume. I
Oh,
think it's on
okay,
my end,
okay, all right, great,
and I got my headphones in.
perfect. Thank you, thank you.
Okay. All right. So we was well, let's just set the scene first. We the last 3 weeks we've been discussing detoxification.
It just came back.
Oh, yeah, I had to keep my mic down. We've been discussing detox, and yeah, we got the detox season ahead of us,
Yes,
and
yes.
well, before we get into, I was addressing the brother Bongo's question. When we talk about fruit juices, saying too much sugar in the fruit juice. You
Yeah,
know,
it's too much. It's too much sugar in the fruit juice because we cannot consume fruits and other foods simultaneously that create a clash with the fruits. So thy food shall be thy medicine, and thy medicine shall be thy food. Fruits on a mixed eating program, fruits are going to primarily act as medicine. So if we're looking at the four major groups of food, fruits which are high in sugar, extremely high in sugar, protein, which are very high in fat. Protein have to be broken down into a simple into amino acids. And amino acids are a form of sugar. Okay. Starches, which are complex carbohydrates, as opposed to fruits. Fruits are simple carbohydrates. So simple carbohydrates are sugar. That's where fruits are, simple carbohydrates. Now, the complex carbohydrates, which are the foods that are high in starch, all of your grains are complex carbohydrates. All of your beans, or for the most part, a great amount of the beans, there are three of them that are more protein than carbohydrates than starch. But the overwhelming majority of beans are 70% starch, complex carbohydrates, and 30% protein. So even right there within that food group alone, the beans, there's a conflict. That's why they gas you up when you eat them and you don't process them a certain way because they're not digesting effectively. So the starches being complex carbohydrate, they need to be converted into simple carbohydrates for your body to be able to utilize them, to get the value out of them. So the starches need to become converted into a sugar base. All rice, all grains, all beans, all peas that are dried, that have been starched, corn, and your deep roots from potatoes on down. These are all complex carbohydrate. And when we hear that term complex carbohydrate, it means these are complicated foods. So they must be converted into sugar. So if I'm eating this morning my pineapple, I'm eating my pineapple this morning. Pineapple is full of sugar, loads me up with sugar. And at 12 o'clock, hey, I'm going to go eat some potatoes. My brain gets a signal that says you just ate complex carbohydrate. They need to be turned into sugar. So first they need to digest. The potato needs to be digested to be turned into sugar. But the brain said, oh, but wait, you just dropped a whole load of pineapples in there, which are high in sugar. So I'm not going to secrete the digestive enzyme to turn potatoes into sugar because you're already full of sugar. So this is where food combining is critical. So the potatoes go undigested. They are not being turned into sugar. They go undigested. And then also you always eat the potato with fat, with grease, with butter, with olive oil. Nice, okay? Because you can't push that dry potato down your system generally without greasing it, without lubricating it. So that even that's a bad food combination, mixing starch and fat. So that's the potatoes are not going to be digested. Take that as a fact. Or if they do digest, it's going to be improperly. So now, uh, or the sugar gets held back. If they're too close, the sugar from the pineapple gets held back, it doesn't get absorbed into the intestinal system. So this is where you get all of this conflict based on improper food combining. So now we are assigning the blame to the fruits because the fruits are high in sugar. When we're saying the fruits are the culprit. But I'm saying no, the fruits are not the culprit. Because human beings have been consuming fruits for millennials. We've only been consuming potatoes, rice, flour, beans for the past 10,000 years. So human beings, our body cannot effectively process fruit sugar and complex carbohydrates, starches. So something has got to go. And we choose to let the fruit go. And this is what you can see. This is a classical case of the diabetic blues. Someone have diabetes from eating processed sugar, refined sugar, and starches that are turning into sugar. And the doctor tell you don't eat any more fruits because it's too high in sugar. Yes, because the fruits now are acting as medicine. They're going into the tissues and bringing out the carbohydrates, the potato, the rice that were not digested, that you stored, folded in the fatty tissue from the fat you ate that potato with, the gravy you put on that rice, the cheese that you put in with that macaroni, that fat. So they're not digesting, they're being stored in the form of cellulites, corn, bunions, dandruff, kidney stone, fibroids. And the fruits go in and break these things up. And now that starch gets reintroduced back into the bloodstream, and now it registers as high sugar. Blame it on the fruit. How convenient. And you stop eating the fruit, and 10 years later, that diabetes, that fibroid, those kidney stones have progressed worse. And you were not eating fruits now. So where is the culprit? What is the fruit connection? Fruits are the original, natural, and best food for human consumption because ultimately everything that you eat needs to be broken down into a simple, great, light sugar. That is that is the example. That is the model that everything needs to be broken down into. That's why, in ancient culture, they revered the grapes. The grapes are like the food. That's why even on some altars in some religions, they still use it as sacrament. That grape juice, call it whatever you want to call it. It's grape juice, you know.
Well,
So, but the thing is, fruits are food and they're medicine. On a mixed diet, they act as medicine, and they're going to keep the body in turmoil, trying to root out things that don't need to be in there. So whether it's the diarrhea, the runs, the headache, the nauseousness, whatever, blame it on the fruit. How convenient. And you stop eating fruits and you're down a slippier, the slope gets more slippery.
so
So I
essentially,
say cut out the starches. They're totally unnecessary.
so essentially, when you're like when somebody is going into a fruit, or they do a lot of fruits, or they're doing a lot of fruit juices, they're gonna have some very uncomfortable detoxification
Correct,
issues.
because the fruits are going to first. Fruits do not build in a dirty house. They clean the foundation first. Then you're going to see fruits start building the system. So it clears out the house first. And that's why the diarrhea, the runs, and all the loose bowels and all the stuff going on. But it's a lot of sugar if you're eating starch.
Okay, and then because I think one of the misconceptions that a lot of people have is that when doing green juices, they feel like that's more of a cleansing juice than fruit juices. And I
Well, no, the
say,
fruits are they're both cleansing,
okay,
but the fruits cleanse more deeply, more profoundly.
right,
Vegetable juice cleanse slower, so they're more welcoming to a body that's highly toxic. That's why you don't give a cancer patient fruit juice. You give them green juice, wheatgrass juice, which has the electrical energy of the fruit juice because it's sugar. Wheatgrass juice is sugar now.
right,
You see how sweet it is, but it's in a form where you're only taking it in a small doses, but now you need to overload with a lot of liquid. But you can't just drink 6 ounces of wheatgrass juice fully concentrated. It's going to root out so much toxin, dump it in the bloodstream. Those toxins shoot around the brain area, and you dizzy, you nauseous, you want to vomit, you want to faint. So you drink it with a lot of juices. And the only juices that is recommended is vegetable juice. And if you're going to do any fruit juice, the only one that is compatible with the wheatgrass juice is apple juice. Because apple juice is it's an acid sponge. It doesn't secrete acidity or create a conflict with vegetable juice as other fruits will.
okay.
So it's a slower cleanser, it's a safer cleanser as opposed to the fruit. But ultimately, you can't just drink all green juice because you're going to become your skin is going to be very ashy. You're going to dry out.
Mm,
After a while, you're going to start looking green or pale. Let's put it that way. So the
okay.
flushness, even in people, Caucasian people, the flushness of the pinkness of their skin. That's why I say you're in the pink when you're healthy. White folks, they're in the pink when they're healthy. So you see that robust glow. When you drink a lot of green juice, they look very ashy, very dried
Right.
out.
Look more pale.
It doesn't have the vibration of the sunshine.
Right.
So drinking the fruit juice, you're drinking liquid sunshine. There are 3 major groups of food, or master groups of food: sunshine, oxygen, and living liquids. Water, but water from living foods: coconut water, pineapple juice, orange juice, wheatgrass juice, watercress juice, watermelon juice. These are your master food group. Those 3, even rainwater. Take it for granted, but it's
Okay.
major.
Okay. So 2 weeks ago we talked. We were about to open a discussion about Noni, and
Yes.
how does a Noni fit in with this picture?
Noni is a complete cellular detoxifier. It removes toxins from all the cells in the body simultaneously. And you can tell that you're taking Noni because you're going to see an elimination overload. Your bowel movements are going to be more thicker, fuller. You see a lot more coming out than normal. And Noni juice, of course, it's a fruit juice, but it has no sugar. And that's why also we need to qualify when we talk about fruit juice. Because when we're talking about fruit juice that are high in sugar, we're talking about we're talking about nutritional fruits. But botanical fruits, they all don't necessarily have sugar. Cucumber is a sugarless watermelon, excuse me, and it's a fruit. Avocado is a fruit, it's got fat. Pumpkin is a fruit. It got traces of starches in it, but it has no sugar. tomatoes, bell peppers, sweet peppers, hot peppers. These are all fruit. So you can drink your fruit juice and not drink one drop of sugar.
Mm.
But if you're going to drink the rich, concentrated, high sugar fruits, grapes, pineapples, apples, peaches, and all of these things, then you need to cut back on your starch consumption because you don't need to now turn your body into a refinery to take pancakes and make sugar out of pancakes, out of buckwheat flour. Because that job would be interfered or interrupted if you if you drink fruit juice, and that's where the conflict of interest come in, or the conflict of life comes in. So starches, complex carbohydrates are a unnecessary group of foods. Yes, athletes would eat a lot of pasta because they can make sugar as they run. But are you running with those athletes, or are you on the couch eating your potatoes? Are you a couch potato, or you a boat? That's the
Mm.
difference between whether it's cool for you to consume all that starch and not get your sugar directly from fruits.
Okay. So so with the noni, like kind of explain, because when I see it on the tree, usually it's green, and then as I think as it ripens, it starts to turn white.
Well, it turns into like a lime green, a lighter shade of green, a paler shade of green.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when it's fit. That's when
Okay.
you harvest it.
Okay.
And within a week of harvesting, it starts to release its liquid. So you harvest the noni fruit when it's fit, and you put it in a jar, close it, sealed tight jar, ideally a glass jar. Stainless steel can work, or ceramic, clay, that kind of stuff can work, but no plastic. If you're using a plastic, you want to use a very high grade clear plastic that's clear, that's not opaque. So you want to put the noni in this closed container and let it sweat. So it's a whole basically distillation process. The noni is going to sweat, and you need to leave it for at least 30 days.
Mm.
And the condensation of the sweat of the noni is remaining in the bottle as opposed to distilled water. When you take a water and you distill it, you run it through a water distiller, the condensation seeps out through another opening and it gets collected into a bottle. But the condensation from the juice, the noni sweat, remains in the bottle with the pulp of the fruit. Then after 30 days, you start draining that sweat, that liquid. So you don't juice noni, you don't put it in a juice extractor because it doesn't have the moisture at that point. The moisture gets released as it ages, as it's cultured, and then you want to capture that moisture, and that's what we drink. That is noni juice,
Okay.
and
And
that is what's going to. But it needs to go through that culturing period, not fermentation, because it doesn't have alcohol. It's not fermented. It's cultured. So you have a lot of digestive enzymes, metabolic enzymes that are now going to go into your system and process the waste that's in there and dump it into the exit channel, the colon. And you see it coming out in big massive loads.
okay. Okay. Yeah. So I want to take an opportunity to remind people that I want to thank y'all all for tuning in. We will be I will be in Panama with Dr. Reese in a couple of weeks, and we will be working together from the end of this month into next year.
All right.
You could check
Yeah,
out our
looking
calendar.
forward.
We haven't released. I've had a few inquiries about about 2022. So that will be coming, the 2022 calendar. I'm sure maybe most of you have major plans for the rest of the year. I gotta take these out. So moving forward, we will be releasing that new calendar.
Yeah, within the month of September, that calendar is going to be out.
Say that again.
Yeah, within the month of September,
Oh
this
yes,
month, the calendar will be
right,
released.
right,
Sure.
right. Right. So yeah. So we got a detox retreat coming up. After that, we have a certification retreat. So if you want to learn raw culinary cuisine, well, somebody had a question about food combining. So maybe
Yes.
that's a good question. I mean, you touched on it a little earlier. Let me see if I find the question. I'll post it. But yeah, what do you say about like raw culinary cuisine in terms of like some, following these, the food combining laws so that we can have optimal digestion?
Okay, well, the foundation on which food combining rests is on the work that was done initially by Pavlov with his dogs. So you
Mm,
notice dogs are masters at food combining. You watch them very carefully. They want protein.
mm,
Dogs want protein, whether it's plant protein or animal protein. I had a dog that I raised on coconut meat. The guy just ate up all the coconut jelly, the hard coconut, all that he could get. That was his main source of protein. And I would notice, my assistant who used to help me with him at the time, she would put scrapings of her meals that she brought from her home in the dog's pot, in the dog's plate, and he won't eat it. He won't eat the rice. He won't
mm,
eat the potatoes. He wants protein. So they know instinctively that's a bad food combination. So that's where the trigger began with the work that was done by Pavlov on food combining. And most information on food combining is more practical or applicable to cook food because it's an issue of digestion, it's digestibility. And we know that live food, raw food, sun-fired foods are pretty much in the position to aid in their own digestion. But the digestive enzymes have not been killed through the cooking process. Exposing any living food, plant food, or even animal food, exposing them to any degree of temperature above 135 Fahrenheit, then you're talking about Death Valley, California, where everything dies above 135 degrees. Death Valley, and that's why they name it accordingly, is the place on the planet where the highest recorded solar temperature was reported. So when you cook food and you destroy the digestive enzyme, which is heat sensitive, there is some major research that was done by a gentleman. The link of the research that was done by a gentleman back in, I believe, 1932. I am going to pull that link up and send it to you, Khepra, so that you can post it on IG and also on YouTube to see the further research that was done by other scientists besides the foundation work uh, that was done by Pavlov.
mm. Okay.
Okay, so and I got this. This is Victoria Skuvinskas is my reference source for all of these deep scientific researches. Uh, so I am going to look that up. It was sent to us and my brother that's here with me now, Saucha, he has it. We sent the link once we spoke to Victoria Skovinskas. See, I'll have to go into my emails, and I'm trying not to get into too many layers of technology while I'm on with you here.
Yeah.
Because I don't want us to drop or anything like that.
Yeah, you
But
can send it to me. I'll post it on the
okay,
YouTube after.
yeah, that work, but also more important is a follow up to that work that you can look up right now, Dr. Howell, enzyme nutrition.
Mm.
That is the modern scientific research that was done during the Ann Wigmore era. On
I think I have a copy of that. Let me see.
Okay, that's it. That's the modern Bible of food combining based on enzyme. That's it. Enzyme nutrition.
Okay.
Dr. Howell. That's the latest modern research that shows you that eating cooked food is bad for your digestive system because it has no digestive enzyme. And this is where with food combining, we have to be very careful now combining starches and fruits. But
Okay.
the bottom line of this research that was done in 1932, Dr. Kuchikov was his name, but I got to get you the exact spelling because it's very tricky. Uh, is that every single food has a critical temperature at which it dies. So in modern times, we talk about raw food, and they talk about there's different opinions about the temperature: 105, 110, 115, 118. But the bottom line, the drop dead temperature is 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Death Valley, California. That's why they named that place Death Valley. It's the lowest point on Earth, and it's in the desert. And that's where the highest recorded temperature. Also, somewhere in the Hunzas, in the Himalaya mountains in Turkey, was recorded as well. So everything dies. All enzymatic activity ceases. So you kill your food. But water has the lowest critical temperature. Water. And that's why stagnant water that's sitting somewhere gets stink, it grows moss in no time because it dies. And that's why I don't understand these bottled waters that we're drinking that are stagnant. How come they ain't stink or ain't growing moss? What is it that they're treated with? But that's a whole another program.
Mm-hmm.
Look at coconut water. 70 degrees, a couple of hours exposed, it spoils.
Mm.
Look at mother's milk, breast milk. Okay? 75 degrees, it spoils. Look at watermelon. 96 degrees, even in the shade, it's going to spoil in a matter of an hour or two. So water has the most sensitive critical temperature point. And of course, the less moisture in the food, the longer it can sustain itself in the desert, like aloe vera, cactus.
Mm.
Arizona, 120 degrees. And you got some prickly pears, some cactus pears. Nice, wonderful food. So these are the things that we're talking about when we're looking at food combining. So when we look at the electromagnetic energies of living foods based on the Sunfire food science that I've observed, and we separate the foods into 4 different groups, the ones that have the highest degree of moisture are the fruits. One has so much, it's in a class by itself. Coconut water, the water from the young coconut, 100% water. The melons, 95 to 99% water. Melons, eat them alone or leave them alone. Eating watermelon is like drinking water. So you don't combine watermelon with bananas. The watermelon in 15 minutes is absorbed. It's water. But banana is going to take about an hour for it to digest and to be absorbed. So the banana holds the watermelon back 100 degrees in your stomach, in your gut. Watermelon is going to spoil quick. So the sugar don't move on because it got held back. Bad food combining just within the fruit kingdom. So imagine combining watermelon with kale chips. Imagine the whole concept of eating and drinking at the same time. That's a bad food combination, period. Slam dunk. Shut
Mm.
up.
Well, one of the
Eating
things
and
that
drinking at the same meal is a bad food combination. So then you talking now, uh, orange juice with French fries. Bad food combination. Not only the moisture issue, but now you got the sugar issue clashing. So food combining is critical, but it's more critical if you're eating cooked food.
mm,
With raw food, it's a whole different thing because these foods have the enzyme. Your body doesn't have to generate the digestive enzyme to turn cooked potatoes into sugar. Now it's got to generate an excessive amount of digestive enzyme because you kill the starch splitting enzyme in the potato by boiling it, frying it, beating it, whatever you did to it. So now your body has to secrete an excessive amount of digestive enzyme to break that potato down. But you got orange juice in the system, or you got Coke. Everything goes better with Coke. No, nothing goes better with Coke. A burger and a Coke don't go good. Bad food combining.
mm,
The principle of digestive science, taken from Dr. Howell.
okay,
So let's get up to date, y'all.
yeah. So, so in essence, we have to, regularly take breaks from food, even on raw food, because if we're,
Absolutely.
with raw food too, we can be be doing some fancy combinations and things that allow the digestive system to work harder than it should.
Yeah, like that great macadamia cacao cheesecake. Yeah, it'll beat you up.
Oh man.
Then you
Okay.
pass and win. You got gas all day.
Okay.
You had a nice
Okay.
orgasm in the mouth eating that stuff. But coming out the other end, now you pay the price.
Okay. Yeah. So again, it's important, family, to regularly detox. Uh, and then obviously when we're doing food combining, I mean, what are some of the? I mean, is everything good? All good with the raw?
No, it's not all good. Look at the work of natural hygiene. Natural hygiene, Dr. Herbert Shelton. He's the master of food combining. Herbert Shelton, natural hygiene.
Right.
And we have a wonderful brother that walked this planet that's an ancestor of ours that's not with us now, Dr. Anderson. Dr. Henry Anderson. Was a natural hygienist, brother,
Mm,
that did a lot of work with T.C. Fry. T.C. Fry was Dr. Shelton's best student. And T.C.
okay.
Fry, Dr. Anderson had a university, UCLA, University at the corner of Lenox Avenue. No, it's the City University of Los Angeles.
Mm,
And T.C. Fry used to teach through Dr. Anderson's university. This is a brother, Henry Anderson, natural hygienist. We met at the Natural Hygiene Convention in Miami Beach, Florida, at the Cordon Bleu, the Blue something hotel over there in 1976. And me and that brother went swimming for a whole mile off the Miami Beach, way out in the deep end. Natural hygienist. But he wrote a book, The Hands, Five Fingers. Food combining broken down into five fingers. Get that book. Look
mm,
for it. It's a critical milestone in our community when it comes to the science, the profound science of food combining. He left a couple of good gems with us. And at this moment, I'd like to take a moment, to just shout out to Dr. Sharita Yazid, the daughter of Dr. Goss, and share our condolences with the family of our master herbalist, iridologist, Dr. Paul Goss out of Compton, California, who left us last week to join the ancestors. His what he has left for us, major legacy new body products, a line of herbs, and his most famous formula, CKLS, colon, kidney, liver, and spleen, a herbal combination to detox and cleanse all those one time. So big up and blessings to Dr. Goss. I know they had a big celebration for him this past week in Compton, a big homecoming, sending the brother home off with the ancestors in good strength. His daughter, uh, Dr. Yazid, Sharita Yazid, who now lives in Ghana and does the African Culture and Wellness Festival. We got that coming up next year in February. We did it virtually this year. But much love to the Goss family, the Goss legacy. Big health food store in Compton, still there, set up by our brother, and his plant that produces new body product is still in Compton, kicking well. So big up to all of our ancestors who have made it possible for us to be able to sit here today and share their information, our information, and your information. Dr. Africa, Dr. Ando, Dr. Sabi, much love, family. These are guiding angels now that are keeping us on course.
That's right. That's right. We always have to remember those who came before us, and then we also have to honor you, good doc. We have to give you your flowers, as they like to
Hey,
say nowadays. While you still here with us,
yeah, because
you have.
when I see my name in the encyclopedia on the history of vegetarianism, and I'm the only one that's still living in the
Mm,
legacy of the history, thanks to you, Khepra, thanks to all of my students, and our family, our community at large that keeps supporting me and keeping me current, up to date. And we
yeah.
got a big surprise coming up Monday. I'm going to give you an invite, Khepra, to share with us this big surprise we got coming up Monday. So let's clear our calendars Monday morning. We're going to be putting up a link soon. So
Okay.
we're going to be broadcasting live from Sunfire TV Monday
Mm,
morning. So we want to invite you, Khepra, to
okay.
be a part of this. We're launching, the current, up-to-date Sunfire uh, way of being here. So this is it. So thank you all for keeping me current, keeping me up to date. My staff, my family, my friends. Uh, appreciate your support. You know, so looking forward.
Yeah, one of the thing is I gotta keep saying is the best way to keep supporting you is really to come see you.
Ha.
They
Well,
gotta
I'm a
they gotta
living
come.
book. I'm a living book. Stop waiting for the book. Come and read it now in person.
Right, right, right. So let's take this other question if it's okay. Someone asked about the warts. Without
Wars.
using, yeah, warts.
Ah, nice. Good question. Yeah, well, I've
Yes.
had my experience. I think it was 1978, 70, yeah, around then, when I knocked off two warts. I mean, I was like 2 years already into being all live,
Mm.
76. I knocked off two warts. I
Yeah,
had
they said
one,
they're raw vegan as well.
okay, I had one right at the bottom in my kitchen. The kitchen in your hair, that's the bottom of your
Mm.
hair here, where that little fine hair is, down in the back here in the kitchen area. And I had one between my groins. And
Mm.
I had just returned from Tanzania, and a wonderful brother and a sister there, and connected me with a wonderful book, The Water of Life, a book on urine therapy. So I knocked those warts out doing a 7-day distilled water fast. Now, if I knew better then, I would be coconut water fast. 10-day distilled water fast, just drinking distilled water for 7 days and staying put in one place in my home and doing urine therapy. This is an ancient
Mm.
Ayurvedic healing science that's been observed for thousands of years in Ayurvedic medicine. I remember in modern time, one of the recent presidents of India, or Prime Minister, Dr. Morarji Desai, he was interviewed on some big worldwide television show, and about you drink your pee every day. He said, "Oh yes, oh yes, Ayurvedic urine therapy." So study that.
That's right.
Study that. So basically, the science goes, you know, you filtering out your antibodies, the antibiotics in your body that the body creates the cure for any disease condition within the body. And you want to basically harvest these antibiotics and recycle them, recirculate them so that, you know, that saying that we have heard, a lot of us say it, but we don't know where it comes from. Heal thyself. Heal thyself. How
Mm-hmm.
the heck you going to heal thyself if you don't have within you what it takes to heal thyself? The body is totally self-healing. There's no food, no medicine, no herb, no external anything that you can put into the body to heal it. The body is auto-corrective. It's auto-healing. We produce all the healing that we need within, but how are we going to harvest it? And it comes out in our urine.
Mm.
We dump our tonic every day. So the science goes that, well, look at it. Well, first of all, let's back up life. How you think you were incubated to get here? Those 2 months in the embryonic stage, in your embryonic fluid. You know what that is? Your own urine, baby. You lived in your own urine for 9 months in the placenta. That's it. And look at when you come out. The healthiest you're probably going to be for the rest of your life. Look at your skin, nice and smooth, sweet, beautiful. Urine therapy. You're a master of it. You were born into it. It's your culture. It's your legacy. It's your foundation.
It's your birthright.
Your birth, your birthright. And we discarding it, following these clowns.
Mm.
Following these clowns. So it's
So,
practice. It's still practice up to today. So you want every flow of urine that coming out of your body divided into to three equal parts. And you got to study yourself. You got to know
yeah.
thyself.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to know your flow, and you got to know more or less. You have to be, all exact, and put it in a flask and measure and see is this 1/3. So the first flow is where the toxins are, the acid. Let that go. The middle part of the flow is where the antibiotics are. And the third part of the flow, no value. You don't need to, that's not necessary. So you want to capture that middle part of the flow. So you got to
Mm.
know thyself.
Mm.
Living in a male body, you can see it. So you can see when your first burst of urine comes out, it's very amber. It's dark. Then it starts getting lightened up. So that middle part of the flow, that's what you want to capture. That's what you want to consume. And you're drinking a gallon of coconut water. Let's bring it up to date. Forget the distilled water. You're drinking a gallon of coconut water, 10, 12 days, whatever number of days you decide. But I know it's got to be at least a week for you to get to the root. You're trying to get to the root of these warts. And I'm not practicing medicine without a license. I'm not a healer. Don't mix me up in that group. I'm a
Mm.
food scientist. And
Mm.
I'm teaching you how to recycle your food
Mm.
and capturing the medicine out of your food. The body is self-healing. I'm not here to heal you. I'm not on a mission. You got to heal thyself.
Mm.
I'm just giving you and bridging gaps in the history of mankind. And that's it. So you back off. You agents that are watching us right now. I know you trying to learn for yourself and your family. So welcome home as well. You need to clean up and do your job right. so you don't provoke people who are trying to help you and your family and help humanity. Just
So,
thanks.
so what creates the warts in the first place?
Warts are cancer cells.
Mm.
Warts are, so, blame it on the animal protein.
Mm.
That's the closest source. Blame it on the animal protein. And it takes 1 year for every 2 years that you consume animal flesh for the last trace of it to leave your body. So warts are one of the last things to leave your body, because now you got to deconstruct all of that. It's got to be broken down. So this is what the urine therapy does. It kind of gives you it's like surgery.
Right.
So when you're doing the urine therapy and you're drinking this urine, every part of that flow for those number of days, you're drinking it, you're also going to take some of it and anoint your body with it externally. Because your heartbeat is going to pump harder, because you're putting some serious medicine in there. So and a lot of toxins are moving. So the heart is like boom, 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 and doing that surgery for you. You are Mother Nature's operating table. And that water is going to break down and come out through the proper channels, not being surgically removed, because the root is still there. You cut it off, the root is still there. You got to get to the root, the source. But number one, of course, the first protocol to observe in the matter of this healing journey is stop putting any more of the cause in. So if your doctor don't know the cause, let him go. You bought a malpractice education. Let them go. If they don't know the cause of your, because most of it is food these days, especially stuff that's directly tied to our immune system. Doctors say your immune system has been compromised. Okay, doc, put that on the table for me. Break that down into everyday English language. So you anoint your body with it to keep your heartbeat regulated normally, naturally, and you're gonna smell. You're gonna smell, because the more toxic you are, the more rank your urine is gonna be. Okay, so be prepared to expose yourself inside out and smell your problem, sniff it out. But that's how strong your medicine needs to be, as rank as it smells. And it's got to be your own urine.
Right.
It's not urea from a cow. It's not taurine that you find in what is that, bull? What is it? That Red Bull sperm or whatever the thing. Or it's not the urea that you find in makeups, some other animal pee that you're putting on your face to get your skin back to baby state. Your own pee you put on your face. Come on home, y'all. Come on home to self. This is what we're talking about.
So how long did it take? You drinking the urine?
10 days.
10 days.
10 days. Anointing my body with it, and within a week after, I saw the last sign of it disappear. 2 warts.
Amazing.
Gone. Like never existed before.
Amazing.
Gone. So I'm not prescribing. I'm not recommending.
Right.
I'm
Let's
sharing
be clear.
a fact of my history.
Okay.
So, you do these things, of course, consult your medical authority, whoever you believe in. It might be yourself. Consult your mother. Consult your physician. If you're paying these folks, you might as well bring them in on your scheme, because they might learn something that might be useful to other clients of theirs, or let them refute you, and you go pull out your science and show them where it comes from. But the thing is to be able to practicalize it like I did for myself, so I can stand here with confidence and tell you about this and know that, it's in your case court now. So get up, stand up, defend yourself, protect your life. You are in charge. Take ownership, please.
All right. One of the questions, I see a question here on Instagram, and I want to really sort of like expand on the question, because you talked about the cooked starches, the potatoes and the rices and the pastas and these things, and I feel like I know that that's usually the last hurdle for those
Ah,
that are usually wanting to go raw, stay raw. It's like when you start on raw food, especially if you're eating more simple, you don't know, you're not a raw food chef, you don't know how to make dishes that are going to sort of mimic your cooked food dishes. So it's going to be challenging from a standpoint getting that body away from the cooked food addiction. Like
yeah, because it's
how
dope.
do
It's
yeah,
dope. It's a drug.
right,
Processed food is a drug, especially cooked starches. I bet you can't just eat one.
right,
You
right,
heard I tell you in the commercial.
right.
They got you again. You back spinning in the bottle. It's drugs because it's not digesting. If potato don't digest, it doesn't break down. It sits there and it ferments. When it ferments, it's going to produce acid. So we're talking alcohol, and you get drunk. You get all out of shape, all bent up, all discombobulated, and all of that stuff because you drunk off of some potatoes. And of course, the byproduct of alcohol, yeast. You're going to have yeast infection. You're going to have
Mm.
athlete's foot. You're going to have dandruff. You're going to have all kinds of stuff. And you have knots of yeast, call it cellulite or whatever. And then a lot of you go taking that nutritional yeast. Yeast is yeast. The word nutritional in front of it is just to capture you who thought you got out of the matrix and you got educated and you hear the word nutrition. You're like, oh, nice, this is good yeast. No, yeast is yeast.
So how
And,
does
and,
one
and, and fungus is fungus. So you better check those mushrooms also that you're consuming, okay? And it produces yeast. Who wants fungus in their body? Do you want to live in a house that's full of fungus, mold, and all of that?
mm,
Okay, now.
mm.
All right, let's get it straight now.
So what would you say? I don't know if I'm correct. Usually when people ask, I say, look, it's going to take you at least 6 months of cooked starch free in order maybe up to a year before
It's hard to put our fingers on it
it's hard to put
because
a number on it.
it's an
Okay.
individual thing. I
Hmm.
know I know that just looking at animal flesh, it takes 2 years for every year that you have consumed animal flesh for the last drop of animal flesh to leave the trace, to leave your body. So if you've
Mm,
been consuming animal flesh for 40 years, it's going to take you 20 years. But now you can accelerate the process doing your weekly fast, doing your lunar fast, doing your seasonal detox. But you got to detox and not retox.
mm,
Don't detox to retox.
right.
And that's why following our detox programs, we always have a certification course so you can be ready to go all the way. You don't want to go back to the bottom of the pot and eat the burn up rice once you
Mm,
detox.
okay.
Okay.
So
So
someone asked about oh, are you
it looks like my IG
oh, okay, we'll wait
looks
for
like
that.
my IG blanked out. Uh looks like my IG blanked out. One minute, please. Let me see.
Okay.
Let me check my connections here. Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry, my extension, my cord got plugged out. So
Okay.
I'm gonna reboot here and get the IG back on. Uh,
Okay. Those of y'all on
so that's
IG,
coming up.
Reese is going to have to reset. Did you have to end it, or are you going to be?
It went on pause and it just said pausing and then it just went blank. But I'm rebooting the phone. That's what's going on because the phone
Oh, I
battery
see.
died because of that unplugged.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna come back in about a minute once everything gets queued up here. Yeah, but it's so crucial that we really get up to date with our scientific researches and things like that, and really be more mindful, of things that are going on within our body, and and go with time and patience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there is things that we could do to accelerate, the cleansing process. But we need to, pretty much what I say, just get a life, get a
Mm-hmm.
life, and that's what we're sharing with you. You know, a life program that you can regulate your life. So you don't want to get on a lifestyle. You want to get on a life. You want to get your life so everything makes sense, everything comes together. So you're eating for a cause, not because. You're doing things in a certain kind of way. Okay, so here I'm getting back in this IG here.
Okay.
Okay, all right, there we go. So it's coming up, and just yeah, send me a request, Khepra, so I can bring you back
Okay.
in right here. Okay. Okay, so the word is out, the follower is known. Uh, yeah, I got my stuff queued up here, and I just feel a little something. But I got to tell you all what
Okay.
I got queued up
Oh,
here.
request.
Yeah, let me see where you at, Kepra. Okay, right here. Okay, here we go. Let me restart my little glass that spilled here. There we go. So
Okay.
I'm gonna take it from the top, talking about the certification course.
Okay.
I got a recipe here that's this is gonna be on the menu in the certification course. So this is the hot tomato tonic, better known
Mm.
as the hot shot, sometimes known as the vital high. You want to get high? This is a vital high for you to get high on. So we're talking a base of tomato juice. This is classic, deep-rooted, Sunfire recipe. I remember when I was at the Beverly Hills Juice Club in LA, West LA, where we had our deli there back in the 80s. We had the Sunfire deli right there with Dave Otto. Big up Dave Otto, the juice man, student of
Mm-hmm.
Professor Norman Walker. Got the best juice machine in the world still. So I was side by side with Dave Otto, and I introduced this drink here, the hot tomato tonic, because it's like, man, Dave was selling everybody a little ounce of wheatgrass, so I came up with something that could go with the wheatgrass juice. So the hot tomato tonic is a base of tomato juice with onion, garlic, radish, turnip, hot pepper. Oh yeah, got a nice fresh herb in there. And when I was leaving the Beverly Hills Juice Club to move on to my next setup, they said, brother, you got to leave me that hot tomato tonic recipe. So it's still rocking at the Beverly Hills Juice Club. We're talking 20 years later, because I left there in '87. Yeah, I left the Beverly Hills Juice Club in '87. So more than 20 years later, you can still walk into the Beverly Hills Juice Club right there on Beverly Boulevard in West LA. Tell my man Dave Otto that I sent you for the hot tomato tonic. But you come to our certification course, this is on top of the list. You're going to learn how to make this hot tomato tonic here. So I'm taking my hit for the day. We got 4 ounces. This stuff clears out the whole respiratory channel. You're talking about a detox drink. This is it.
Mm.
This is it. Hot pepper in there.
Mm.
But the juice of the hot pepper, we put it with the seeds and all. Secret, the seeds are not going to juice, so don't freak out. So it's fine. But it's a pleasant taste. The heat hits you at the back of the throat. So your gums, your lips, your palate is not going to be on flame. And since the peppers were not cooked and in a juice form, it's not going to turn into acid because it's all pre-digested. No issue about food combining here. So when you go to the toilet and you pass your excrement, your bum is not going to be burning because it's the acid from cooking the pepper that makes your butt burn when the stuff is coming out. So bless up, cheers to the family, and let me do this. It clears my voice and everything. So talking about how long it's going to take to get starch out of the system, this is what you want. This is the starch buster here.
Mm.
It's gonna rip that S off of your chest. The S of starch. It's gonna rip it off your chest. All that mucus. That's what this is. So you gotta come home. If you get nothing else from me in this life, you gotta get this one here. Woo! Yeah. Clears up the voice box. I
Yeah.
wish I could sing. I'll hit
Yeah.
you a nice. I'll hit you a nice Dennis Brown right now. Woo! I'm telling you. Mm, 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 mm. Family,
Right. All right.
this is it. So I got 4 ounces of that. Then
All right.
so that opens up, rip stuff off, rip all the mucus out through the whole respiratory channel. And then, on this day, I'm following that with my fresh aloe vera juice.
Mm.
Shot 100%. Peel the aloe vera, run it through a slow juice, so you got to run it through slow. So you get all juice and not a whole bunch of pulp. Hit my aloe vera juice. So aloe vera now is going to move those toxins. And whatever this opened up, aloe vera is going in there now and pulling stuff out. But the beauty about aloe vera, let me hit it first. Woo, woo, woo. Mm. Straight up, 100%.
Mm.
The beauty about aloe vera, it draws toxins out of the tissues and seals the cells back immediately so the toxins don't get reabsorbed. And aloe vera have a mild laxative effect. What more can you ask for? I know what more I'm going to ask for right now. So I'm going to bring you in my kitchen and we're going to rock what I got. Queued up in my bowl right here. You see that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jackfruit.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh jackfruit.
Mm.
Right. Jackfruit. This is not the jackfruit that y'all cook and do pulled jackfruit and all that stuff. I got a cup and a half of fresh jackfruit pulp. I got one of these Panama sugar pineapple right here. So I'm pulling me a wedge out of this pineapple. Got me a wedge. This is about 2 cups of pineapple that I'm pulling out here. And you see this Panama pineapple. This thing is pure sugar. I run on sugar. This is my favorite sugar these days. Pineapple. Pineapple juice. I mean, you see me burn it. Yeah, it's my brother right here. I came in last night. I lifted about 100 boxes yesterday. Just doing fitness for a cause because I went shopping and I had to bring stuff up the stairs. So I came up sweating. I burnt that sugar, all that sugar I ate yesterday, all that fruit. So here, the pineapple, I don't know, this question is up on the screen, but you can still see the whole pineapple?
Yeah.
The screen, the question block, okay. Yeah, so I'm going to slice my pineapple right in the skin, and I'm going to cut it and put it right in the blender along with my jackfruit. Yeah, and I'm doing a pineapple jackfruit smoothie because I'm going to drink this whole thing. You know, I'm not fasting, so I'm not pressing it trying to make no juice right about now. It's going to be a smoothie right here. And what am I backing it up with? Living water from the coconut spring. Coconut water, young coconut water. So here, so that was 2 cups of pineapple. And here I'm dropping in 4 cups of coconut water. So coconut water is going to help me manage the sugar in that pineapple and the jackfruit because both of those are like real sugar plums. They're heavy sugar, but I run on sugar. I'm going to get out here and do some work in a minute. You know, I did some work already this morning. So I'm replenishing the sugar that I burnt up. You got to earn the sugar. You
Mhm.
got to earn the sugar. You're going to be drinking fruit like this, then you should have been out this morning burning. And now I'm replenishing what I've burnt. I'm not trying to take sugar to go burn it. I'm replenishing what I've already burnt. Now I'm going to run this thing here. And voila, here. Got me a big mug here. Oh, this mug. You see, it's not really even a smoothie. See, it's nice and loose. It's got a head on it too. Look at the froth up there. Got a
Mhm.
little oxygen. You know, I mean, it's not a big thing to be calling home about, but it's real. Blending, you're gonna oxygenate. So they're vacuum blenders now. You got to get up to date with your technology. You can get a vacuum blender that sucks the oxygen out of it, so you won't see that head up there. But you want to get rid of that head, you can just spoon it off, or you go ahead and press this, and that foam is gone. It's oxygen, so it'll break it down faster and oxidize. But I'm gonna drink it right away, so I'm not worrying about that right now. And I'm gonna go walk when I'm finished in the sun. So any gas that came in from that oxygen, that foam, will be burr, 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 burr. Life is real. Keep it in the real zone, and just love thyself. Cheers, family. Blessings.
All right, all right. Well, this is this a beautiful delight of sunshine you're drinking right there. We're gonna, well, at least on my end, we're gonna have to leave it here.
Yeah, we're
Again,
good here.
just to remind folks, you could check out sunfire.com, keprasrawfoodjuicebar.com. You can DM Reese, DM myself if you're interested on any of the trips we have coming up. I will, after the video, I'll post some more details in the show notes if you're here on YouTube. If you're on IG, again, DM either one of us directly for any of your questions. I'm sure you'll get a prompt reply, and we'll be back next week.
Yeah, and I want to ask people to come and join me on Monday. I
Monday.
normally do an
What
IG
time?
live at 9 o'clock,
Okay.
and it's bilingual, English and Spanish. Okay,
Right.
so invite your Spanish-speaking brothers and sisters from around the world who don't get this information, readily. Let them know. Drop in with us, 10 a.m. Eastern time this coming Monday, and we have something special going on, during that time that we want to share with you. So looking forward, family. But most of all, I want you to come home. Want to see your face in the place. Sunfire Regenerative Center, Portobello World Heritage Park, Colon, on the Caribbean side of Panama. So bless up, much love, and stay in the light. Peace.
Yes. Yes. Bless. Bless.